Hi everyone, welcome to my channel Arvind Biology Classes or Arvind Educations. Thank you for watching my videos. For more updates, please subscribe my channel Arvind Biology Classes or Arvind Educations. In respiration part 1, we finished with fundamental differences between respiration and combustion, and I told you respiration is of two types as aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration. Here, the mechanism which is involved for oxidation of glucose means aerobic respiration completed in 3 steps. Okay, so oxidation of glucose in aerobic respiration completes in 3 steps, that is glycolysis, Krebs cycle and electron transport system. Glycolysis occurs in cytoplasm of cell, Krebs cycle occurs in mitochondrial matrix, and electron transport system occurs in elementary particles of mitochondria. So let us see first one, that is glycolysis. Glycolysis is also called as EMP pathway. It is also called as EMP pathway. Okay, glycolysis is nothing but the process of breakdown of glucose into 2 molecules of pyruvic acid. The process of breakdown of glucose into 2 molecules of pyruvate is called glycolysis. Lysis means breakdown of glucose. Okay, that means a carbon 6 compound is converted to 2 molecules of carbon 3 compound. So that process is glycolysis, and this process was explained by 3 scientists. The names are Emden, Meyerhoff and Paranas. So by considering the first letter of these 3 scientists, it is considered as EMP pathway. Okay, so glycolysis is proposed by Emden, Meyerhoff and Paranas. By considering the first letter of their names, this glycolysis is also called as EMP pathway. And please remember, glycolysis is the common stage for both aerobic and anaerobic respiration, and glycolysis occurs in cytoplasm of cell. Glycolysis occurs in cytoplasm of cell, for which oxygen is not required. Okay, oxygen is not required. Okay, so let us see the steps which are involved in glycolysis. So starts with glucose. Glucose is converted to glucose 6-phosphate. Glucose 6-phosphate into fructose 6-phosphate. Fructose 6-phosphate into fructose 1,6-bisphosphate. Now this compound is divided into dihydroxyacetone phosphate and glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. Now this is converted into 1,3-bisphosphoglyceric acid, and this is converted into 3-phosphoglyceric acid, and this is converted into 2-phosphoglyceric acid, and this is converted into phosphoenol pyruvic acid. Finally, we will get pyruvic acid. Okay, So as I told you earlier, the process of conversion of glucose into pyruvic acid is called glycolysis. These are the metabolic intermediate compounds. And we need to see the process of energy production or consumption. As I told you earlier, in the initial conditions of glucose breakdown, ATP is utilized. Okay, energy rich substance is utilized, whereas later on energy rich substance ATPs are produced. Okay, so in the first step ATP is consumed. Okay, so arrow mark is from ATP towards ADP in the first step, and in the third step ATP is utilized and ADP is produced. Okay, and these two are isomers, interconvertible, and here one inorganic phosphate is added, then NAD is converted to NADH2, and here for the first time ADP is converted to ATP, so you got one ATP, and here water is released, and here one more ADP is converted to form as ATP. Okay, let us discuss the process which is involved here. So glucose is a carbon 6 compound which is converted to form as glucose 6 phosphate by utilization of ATP. One ATP is used. Actually, we are in the mechanism of oxidation of glucose. Our intention is to see the production of ATPs. Okay, but in the very first step itself ATP is utilized, no problem. Why? Because glucose is need to be initiated for further breakdown, for which energy consumption is mandatory, so energy is consumed here. Now glucose by utilizing ATP, okay, so ATP is added, means the terminal phosphate, adenosine triphosphate, is converted to adenosine diphosphate. So the third phosphate is added to glucose on 6th carbon, so number of carbons remains same, C6 only, and the phosphate is attached on 6th carbon, so the compound name is glucose 6-phosphate. So glucose is converted into glucose 6-phosphate by the addition of phosphate present in ATP. That's why this is called phosphorylation. This is called phosphorylation. Phosphate group is added. Okay, so every time we need to see how this product is converted into this one. Is there any energy production or energy consumption? Basing on that, we need to consider what is this step. So glucose is converted to glucose 6-phosphate by utilizing this ATP. So the phosphate, the third phosphate present in ATP is attached to the glucose on 6th carbon. So that's why it is called glucose 6-phosphate. Number of carbons remains similar. So as phosphate is added, that's why this step is called phosphorylation. Next, of course, this is possible because of an enzyme called hexokinase. Okay, so every time in each step there is an enzyme is there will catalyze the process. So basing on that, the intermediate products are produced, but enzyme names are not required for us. Just remember that each and every step is catalyzed by an enzyme. Now glucose 6-phosphate, due to the enzymal action, it is converted into fructose 6-phosphate. Number of carbons remain similar. Glucose and fructose both are isomers. There is no energy production, there is no energy consumption. That's why this step is called isomerization. This is called isomerization. There is no energy production, there is no energy consumption. Next, fructose 6-phosphate is utilizing one more ATP. See, the arrow mark is from ATP towards ADP. That means ATP is utilized here. As ATP is utilized, fructose 6-phosphate is converted to fructose 1,6-bisphosphate. Number of carbons remain similar. One more inorganic phosphate, so one more phosphate from ATP is attached on fructose at first carbon. So 1, 6, 2 phosphates are there, that's why bis. Okay, so fructose 1,6 bis phosphate, as phosphate group is added to this one, that's why this is called again phosphorylation. It is called phosphorylation. Okay, ATP is utilized by fructose 6 phosphate, so one more phosphate is attached on first carbon. Now the compound is called fructose 1,6 bisphosphate. Okay, now due to the action of an enzyme called aldolase here, okay, this 6 carbon compound is converted into, splits into 2 3 carbon compounds. Okay, so fructose 1,6 bisphosphate is cleaved, divided into 2 trioses, 2 3 carbon compounds. So it is divided, that's why this step is called cleavage. Okay, cleavage. So 6 carbon compound converted into 2 3 carbon compounds. One is dihydroxyacetone phosphate, the other one is glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. So keep dihydroxyacetone phosphate aside. Let us see glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. Glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate here converted into 1,3 bisphosphoglyceric acid. One inorganic phosphate is added to this. So due to the addition of inorganic phosphate, we consider this as phosphorylation. Okay, now this inorganic phosphate which is available in the cytoplasm of cell is added to the glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate, so it is converted to form as 1,3. Already on third carbon phosphate is there. Now this inorganic phosphate is added on first carbon, so 1,3 bisphospho. Okay, then glyceraldehyde undergo oxidation. So it undergo oxidation, that means H2 is released from glyceraldehyde. As H2 is released, so removal of hydrogen is called oxidation. So due to the removal of that H2, glyceraldehyde is converted to form as glyceric acid, and number of carbons remains similar, that is carbon 3 compound. Now this H2, the hydrogen ions which are released here are immediately accepted by the hydrogen acceptor which is available here, that is called NAD, and NAD is converted to form as NADH2. NADH2 is also an energy rich substance. We are seeing the process of production of ATP, but instead of ATP we got NADH2. Let us consider NADH2. Okay, so due to oxidative phosphorylation, glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate is converted into 1,3 bisphosphoglyceric acid. As inorganic phosphate is added, it is phosphorylation. H2 is released from glyceraldehyde, which is immediately accepted by NAD, and it is converted into NADH2. This is a electron acceptor, and this is a energy rich substance. Okay, and because of that we got 1,3 bisphosphoglyceric acid. Now this 1,3 bisphosphoglyceric acid converted into 3-phosphoglyceric acid, number of carbons remains same, C3. Okay, now what happened? There is one phosphate missing. Okay, so the phosphate which is attached on first carbon is removed, right? That phosphate is accepted by another electron acceptor, that is ADP, and ADP is converted to form as ATP. See, the arrow mark is from ADP towards ATP, so you got an energy rich substance ATP. So inorganic phosphate is removed from glyceric acid, one phosphate group is removed from glyceric acid, so the remaining compound is 3-phosphoglyceric acid. As phosphate group is removed, and we call it as dephosphorylation. Due to dephosphorylation, the phosphate which is removed from this compound is accepted by ADP, we got ATP, and the remaining compound is 3-phosphoglyceric acid. Now 3-phosphoglyceric acid is converted to form as 2-phosphoglyceric acid. The number of carbons remains same, but the thing is the functional group is changed. The position of the functional group is changed. The phosphate group which is attached on third carbon in glyceric acid is now shifted to second carbon due to the enzymal action here. That's why we call this as intramolecular shift. Intramolecular shift. That means within the molecule there is a shifting of position of functional group, that is from third carbon to second carbon occurs, and there is no energy production, there is no energy consumption here. Now this 2-phosphoglyceric acid, by losing water, when H2O is lost from this particular compound, then the intermediate product which is formed here is considered as phosphoenol pyruvic acid. Number of carbons remains same 3. As water is lost from this compound, this is called as dehydration. This is called as dehydration. Okay, so due to dehydration, 2-phosphoglyceric acid is converted to form as phosphoenol pyruvic acid. There is no energy production and there is no energy consumption. Then phosphoenol pyruvic acid, from here the phosphate group is removed, so the remaining compound which is formed here is called pyruvic acid. The phosphate group which is removed is immediately taken by ADP, so one more ATP is formed. So removal of that phosphate group is called dephosphorylation again. So due to dephosphorylation, phosphate group is removed from phosphoenol pyruvic acid. That phosphate group is accepted by ADP, so ATP is formed, and the final product what we got is pyruvic acid. So you got one more ATP. Okay. Now initially I told you glucose is converted to 2 molecules of pyruvic acid. Okay. So the process of conversion of glucose 6 carbon compound into 2 molecules of 3 carbon compound, that is pyruvate, that is glycolysis, but we got only one pyruvic acid. Okay. And you see here, when fructose 1,6-bisphosphate is divided into 2 trioses, 2 3-carbon compounds, from one 3-carbon compound you got these metabolic intermediate products, and finally we got one pyruvic acid. So let us see the end products. We got one pyruvic acid. Okay, we got one pyruvic acid, and 2 ATPs are produced. 2 ATPs are produced. Along with that, 2 NADH2 are also produced. Okay, but you know, we should see the production of one more pyruvic acid, because I told you glucose is converted into 2 pyruvic acids. Okay, but there is no chance from here. But you look at this compound DHAP, that is dihydroxyacetone phosphate. This DHAP, dihydroxyacetone phosphate, is biologically inactive substance. This will not undergo subsequent reactions. Dihydroxyacetone phosphate is biologically inactive, right? This will not undergo in subsequent reactions. This is converted into glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. This particular arrow mark is indicating the same, that this is converted into this. So when dihydroxyacetone phosphate, which is biologically inactive, as cannot undergo further subsequent reactions, this is converted into glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. So when one more glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate is formed, then you can expect these reactions will take in place again. Okay, if that is the case, then your products will be doubled. Okay, that means you are going to see 2 pyruvic acids. You are going to see 2 pyruvic acids, then 4 ATPs, 2 ATPs from glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate and 2 more ATPs when DHAP is converted into this one. Then only 2 NADH2 are formed. Okay, sorry, here actually only one NADH2 is formed initially. So one more NADH2 is formed from dihydroxyacetone phosphate. So totally 2 NADH2 are formed. these are the end products of your glycolysis. But please remember, to begin the process of glycolysis, to start the process of glycolysis in the first step and in the third step, right, 2 ATPs are consumed. 2 ATPs are consumed. So if you deduct those 2 ATPs from the 4 ATPs, the net gain of ATPs here are only 2. Only 2 ATPs are produced. The net gain is only 2, but we are not reducing, we are not deducting these 2 ATPs which are consumed in the first and third step. We will deduct them at the end of this particular process. Okay, so the process of breakdown of glucose into 2 molecules of pyruvic acid is glycolysis, during which 4 ATPs are produced and 2 NADH are produced, 2 NADH2 are produced, but 2 ATPs are consumed in the first and third step. So the total net gain of ATPs which are produced during glycolysis are only 2. Okay, now where this particular reactions taken place, they occur in cytoplasm of cell, for which oxygen is not at all required. Now the end products were 2 pyruvic acids, 4 ATP, 2 NADH2. Now these compounds are shifted to mitochondrial matrix, where the second reaction Krebs cycle occurs.